Hello, it's Lisa, and today I just wanted to encourage you a little and talk to you a little about shifts. This fall, I had the opportunity to go on an 18-mile journey. You may be saying, wow, 18 miles, that's a long journey. It actually was a very long journey, and it took me all day. I had to climb 3 mountains and cross 2 streams. But I tell you what, I learned some really valuable lessons on that day. And one of them had to do with shifts. And you may be thinking, shifts, that's a really odd thing to learn about, but it's actually something that I got a lot out of when I began to think about shifts in our lives. And I actually learned this lesson by the backpack that I was carrying. I was carrying a very small backpack on my back. It was one of those little drawstring bags, really easy to manage, and only had a few items in it that were to last me the entire day while I was on my journey, because I wouldn't have access to a lot of things. And so I made sure that when I took that bag that it only had things that were necessary and there wasn't a lot of weight, because I figured if I was going to have to be climbing mountains and crossing streams, I didn't need a lot of weight on my back. So I made sure that I only had in it the things that were absolutely necessary. And as I was going on this journey, one of the things that I began to notice is I started moving that backpack around. So at some points it would be on my back, and according to what I was facing on that journey, I would at times choose to take it off and carry it. Other times I would put it on the front of me. Other times I would carry the string on one side of my shoulder. And there were other times when I would completely give that backpack to someone else to handle at that point in the journey. And the thing that I really learned and that just really stood out to me was that in life, we often, on our life's journey, we have to shift weights in our lives. I thought that was so profound. I started thinking about my life personally, and how there are seasons when I've had to carry a lot, whether it was work or personal, and I would have to choose at some points to shift the weights in my life. And you may be saying, well, what are you talking about weights? I can give you a great example. There have been times in my life when I've been heavily involved in activities at church, and I have had to make the decision that, okay, if I'm going to be that involved in some things at church, that I'm going to have to shift some of my personal things so that I can accommodate those extra things I'm trying to carry in that season. Or I may look at my personal life and say, hey, I have a real major family issue going on. This is the time I'm going to have to back off from some of my other relational things that I do with people, some things at work I may have to shift. So it's in life that we actually have to deal with these shifts, and it's okay to shift things in our lives. We don't have to feel like we have to carry everything all the time. And that's really what I learned with that backpack that day as I was moving the weight of that backpack around. I remember there was one instance when we literally had to go through a very small crevice in some rocks. And it was that point that I realized, guess what? I'm not going to make it through with it on my back. I'm not going to make it through with it on my front. I'm actually going to have to hand this off to someone who's gone before me, take that weight completely off of my life, hand that off to them, and then make my way through that small crevice and then take that weight back on. The only way I was going to make it through that tiny crevice in that little mountain area was to shift the weight. And shifting the weight in that case means completely taking it off my back and giving it to someone else. And that is what we have to do in life. On life's journey, it's so important that we not fear the times that we have to shift, and realize that shifts can actually be for our advantage. So I really want to encourage you in that, and to look at your life and say, hey, is this a season where I'm going to have to make some shifts? And don't be afraid. It's actually very courageous to learn how to shift weights so that we can move forward. That's all I have for you guys today, and I look forward to being back with you again soon. Have a great day.